G'day guys and welcome to your English Aussie. Today I'm bringing you the watch list. A lot of you guys have been asking for some content around this and today I'm going to run through some players that I've got my eye on for the upcoming weeks that are potential differentials in your side and that you can possibly go into before other managers or get in front of those upcoming price rises. Today I've got a list of 11 players for you that I've currently got on my watch list and I'm looking at over the upcoming weeks, and I'm going to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of each of those players and why they're here on the watch list for you. I'll show some of the statistics across those goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and forwards, and perhaps we'll compare them to some players that we might already have in our teams and take a look at what they could look like as substitutes in. First up on the list, I've got Diogo Jota. He came back from injury for Liverpool recently, scoring a goal in a 20-minute cameo off the bench against Fulham in their 2-2 draw. He's currently sitting at 7.2 million price range, which is a really nice price range for that sort of fourth midfielder outside of the three premium structure that everyone seems to be going for. He's also a really interesting option. Over the next sort of 7-8 game weeks, Liverpool have some really nice fixtures from game week 18 to game week 25, and with a potential double game week coming up where they're going to play Everton and one other team potentially in 24 or 25, looking like the most likely game weeks for that, Diogo Jota could be a really nice guy to get into the team before he starts rising in price. For me, I've got him on the watch list. Have a looking if he's going to start next week for Liverpool. If he starts next week for Liverpool, I'd really like to get him in for game week 18 or potentially game week 19 to my team as that fourth midfielder role. Another two options for me in Liverpool's backline are Joe Gomez and Alisson Becker, and I know all of you have heard my reasoning behind why I don't think Trent is a good pick, so I won't talk through that in any more detail, but if you do want to hear about that, take a look at one of my recent videos where I talk through transfer plans and buy, sell, hold. I'll put a link to it above. Joe Gomez and Alisson Becker are the guys that I'm really looking at in that Liverpool defence. Gomez brings a sort of cheap price route into their backline at 4.9 million. With Ibrahim Konate currently out with that knee injury, I don't think he's going to be back anytime soon at the moment. And with the fixtures coming quick and fast over Christmas, this could be really useful to have Gomez in there for quite a few game weeks. Konate is not training with the Liverpool team yet at the moment, and he doesn't look like he's close to being back from injury. So I would expect Gomez to be playing in that team, especially with Andy Robinson also out now for the next few weeks after suffering a red card. It's more than likely that he will be playing every game week for the next few game weeks. And Liverpool, obviously, the defence that's probably been one of the two most reliable up there with Arsenal for potential clean sheets. Alisson up there if you are not concerned, if you're a little bit concerned around Gomez's minutes. I don't think you should be, but perhaps you have some other defenders where you think they can potentially get some more attacking returns, and maybe Alisson is the safe bet as a keeper, who we are finding quite difficult at the moment to pick keepers that are consistently returning. Perhaps he's the safe bet in the Liverpool team at 5.4 million. Hey guys, this is your English Aussie. Just a quick shout out and a pause to say if you do really enjoy this content, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a like. It will really help grow this small channel, and hopefully it will help me provide some more great content for you guys to continue watching in the future. Thanks a lot. Back to the video. Next up on the watch list is Ismail Assar, and a little bit reactionary to the game weeks that are going on at the moment, but I have seen him over the last couple of weeks really make leaps and bounds in that Palace side, and this is not something that's unusual for Sarr. Previously, when he was in the Premier League for Watford, he was often picking up points. He was actually a very good fantasy asset for many weeks for Watford, and now Palace seem to have got that front three clicking a little bit better together, with Mateta dropping a little bit deeper and Sarr making in those runs behind, and then vice versa, similar to a Palmer Jackson setup at Chelsea. This seems to be really working for Palace, and they are starting to find some form at the moment. They haven't lost any of their last 5 games, and they've only lost 1 out of their last 8 Premier League games. With some really nice offensive fixtures coming up for them from game weeks 18 to 28. I'd be interested in looking at Sarr as sort of, if you have one of those cut price midfielders in potentially a 5-person midfield, or someone as a value option to fund other players. I think Sarr is a really nice option going forwards. Next on the list, and fits into the similar mould as Sarr, is Alex Iwobi of Fulham. Fulham also have some nice fixtures coming up between game weeks 19 and 28. Alex Iwobi's really started to find his form for Fulham, playing on the wings. Fulham have a very tactical setup where they're very fast, progressive carries, play on the counter-attack, and that really utilises the strengths of Iwobi with his pace to bring the ball up the field and get in behind opposition defences. I think he's a really interesting shout, and he's been repeatedly picking up points and going a little bit under the radar so far this season. I think Iwobi's a really nice option for those of you that are looking for that sort of cut price player so far. He's sitting there at only 5.7 million, the same as Ismail Assar, and he's also the 7th top midfielder for points scored this season after Salah, Palmer, Saka, Mbeumo, Maddison and Bruno Fernandes. Iwobi's sitting in there ahead of Son at 78 points so far this season, so I think he's a really nice cut price option. Next up on my list, again in the Fulham team, is Anthony Robinson. He's at 4.8 million, and also has nice fixtures for Fulham over the game weeks 19 to 28. Fulham have been excellent defensively, or very good defensively so far this season, for the type of team that they are, and Anthony Robinson has been someone that can provide those attacking returns as well. He's so far already picked up 6 assists so far this season, and he's sitting at an expected goals and assists of 0.17, primarily made up of assists. But he really does show that there is potential for that attacking returns, as well as some potential clean sheets for Fulham with their nice fixtures. Milenkovic is the next one up on my watch list. He's at 4.5 million at the moment, and his fixtures run starts from sort of fixture game week 19 to 28 as well. Nottingham Forest fixtures start to become a little bit nicer defensively. Milenkovic, with that attacking threat from corners, and at a price slightly cheaper than an Aina, is a potential going forwards, and he makes it onto the watch list. In the front line, I've only got one forward here on the watch list. I think there are so many good forwards at the moment that it's really difficult to justify having anybody on the watch list. All of the players at the moment are well known, and they have a lot of great options to go for as a forward. Someone that I would just keep an eye on at the moment is John Duran. He's been coming off the bench for Villa a lot this season, but finally got a start, his second start of the season this week, and scored a goal again. He has scored 6 goals so far this season in only 492 minutes, with an expected goals and assist of 0.74 goals per 90 minutes at the moment. And with Watkins having picked up a slight knock and Duran performing so well, if he does manage to bed down a starting role in that team in the Premier League, he could be an unbelievable asset at the price of only 5.8 million. So Duran is somebody that could be a differential for your team going forwards. Next up on the watch list, and maybe starting to go into the sort of almost non-differential category, he's being looked at more and more at the moment, is Amad Diallo of Man United. He played in that sort of front three for Amorim this week against Man City, picking up a goal and an assist. He has been used quite frequently as a right wing back, and sort of the position in the team hasn't quite been bedded down. Amorim has really been playing with his front three and trying to work out what the best attacking options are. I do like Amad Diallo in that role for his ability to both carry the ball and have that technical ability with his dribbling, and also to be able to run in behind and cause problems with his pace for opposition defences. We'll have to obviously see how Amorim continues to deploy him in that Manchester United team. However, I would consider, if he is somebody that you are interested in, potentially looking to get him in before the price rises. He is at the moment at 5.2 million. He could be in there as a fifth midfielder option for some potentially a replacement for a Morgan Rogers or an Enzo, or maybe one of your 4.5 million midfielders, or could in the future become someone who is a budget enabler fourth midfielder, and therefore he would become a really nice option to be able to fund money elsewhere, perhaps in the defence. The last two on my list are James Maddison of Spurs. Now, James Maddison is a really interesting one and somebody I'm really big on at the moment. He's sitting there currently at 7.6 million. He's actually started 13 of the 16 games for Tottenham so far this season, averaging 11.490s over those 16 games. He scored 7 goals and has got 4 assists, with non-penalty expected goals and assists per 90 of 0.61. The Tottenham fixtures, unfortunately, are not looking so good at the moment, but from game week 22 to game week 26, they have a really nice fixture swing. And to be honest, over the next few weeks, I will have my eye on Maddison to see if I can potentially drop into him for a few games, which are not terrible, over the upcoming run of game weeks, for potentially some attacking returns. Maddison obviously sitting in the top 5 point scorers for midfielders so far this season, only behind Salah, Palmer, Saka and Mbeumo, above of Bruno Fernandes, Son, Iwobi, Bowen and the likes, having scored 91 points so far this season. Definitely someone who could be a differential in your side. Finally, and maybe surprisingly, I do have Brian Mbeumo on the watch list. He is someone that I am considering bringing back into my team from Brentford. Thomas Frank recently has reverted to a 3-5-2 formation with Mbeumo and Wissa up top. That has taken Mbeumo away from that sort of right wing role where he's been playing since Wissa's come back into the team, and sort of got him more involved up front in that 2 up front for Brentford. With Brentford scoring so many goals this season, the top 3 teams for goals scored so far this season, and Mbeumo is still a really nice option. He's on penalties. He's at 7.6 million in that price point, and he is obviously the 4th top scoring midfielder so far this season, only 1 point behind Saka, with 105 points so far this season. He's scored 10 goals and has 2 assists, and started all 16 games for Brentford, pretty much playing 90 minutes in all of those games. So he earns himself a place on the watch list, as he could prove himself to be a differential in the upcoming weeks. That's the sort of content I wanted to bring to you guys this week. If you are enjoying this content, please subscribe to my channel for more detailed tactical and statistical analysis that I will be bringing you every week. I hopefully can give you some really in-depth analysis into the different players, the teams, and the structures and setups that are going on. I really hope you guys are enjoying this sort of content. Likes and subscribes are really helping this sort of small channel to grow, and I appreciate all you viewers. Tune in on Saturday for my deadline stream, and subscribe for the good content that will be continuing to come out this week. Thanks again for watching. This has been your English Aussie. Have a great week.